To move concerning
Yo, what's up, guys? We're back at it again with another PPRFF, or no, yeah,
no,
P, no,
no, just
PRFF, just one P this time.
yeah.
PRFFFLMP.
There
I think this
you
is week
go.
9,
This
week
is
8,
week
week 8,
yeah, this
week
is week
8,
8.
and I am Trevor, and this is your other host.
I'm Sam. Hello.
And today we have a very special guest coming from a very tropical island. It is Aaron Winterowski.
Aaron. Hello. How's it going, man? How are you?
Good. I'm doing good. How are you guys?
Dude,
We're
we're
doing
doing all
excellent.
I'm happy to
We're
be here.
doing
yeah.
well, we're
I
happy to
mean,
have you. I will
yeah.
say I'm doing much better knowing that my team beat the pants off Jacob this week. It definitely makes my this podcast a little bit better for me.
Yeah. And it'll also make it better having somebody that actually knows a little bit about football.
Mm-hmm.
We had Andrew and Matt on as guest hosts, and then after that we had Tanner had some knowledge too, and so
Yeah, yeah,
we've
yeah,
had Josiah and we've had Mitchell. So
yeah,
Nice.
yeah. Well, let's go ahead. Let me share my screen here, and then we will get crack-a-lacking. All right, here
let's
we
do
go.
it.
Let's do it.
So here we are. Um, and I mean, there's a lot to go over from this week. Like so much to go over.
I
Where do we
really
want to begin?
I want to start with um let's start with you and Jacob. 'Cause we're talking about
I
that
love
already.
it. I love it. Yeah. Uh, so I mean, I'm gonna jump straight to the good part here. We're gonna come on over to the where's where's the button where we can see um the breakdown from the week? You remember
Oh,
that is?
week at top right, week 8 recap one.
Okay. Yes. So
Yeah.
so I think this is really interesting. Now, if you look at this Thursday night, he started off pretty hot. And I didn't have any players, playing. And then Sunday, we're coming back. Now, right about here is late Sunday night. Now, if I was to guess what time that was, let me check my text messages with Jacob to tell you exactly what time that would have been. Um, so that looks like, sorry, I gotta scroll through all the weird pictures he sends me. Um, so that looks like loosely Sunday at 10:47 p.m. Now he texted me, "Does it hurt?" And I didn't respond because in my mind, I'm looking at this, and at that point, I think he was beating me by like 10 points or so. Yeah, I was at 81.9, and he was at 91, you know? And I'm thinking, you know, I still don't feel bad because I have CD Lamb playing, and he has Ezekiel Elliott playing. And then CD Lamb proceeds to lay a 35 bomb on Jacob's
Yeah.
head, and I
Crazy.
beat him by 15 points. I mean, like 33 points. Yeah, sorry, right?
Wow.
Um, and I texted him back and I said, "Sorry, just now getting to this. Does what hurt?" And then he tried to play it all aloof, and he said, "Never mind." So,
Well, he did a much worse job of trying to play it off in the Discord because at
yes,
10:48 Sunday night he said, "Guys, I'm about to beat Trevor and I don't have a full team." And then
yes,
the next morning at 6:32 a.m. I see the score and I'm just like, "You were saying." And
yes,
then
yeah.
Aaron, you seemed really excited about that. You gave a "let's go" with two O's and three exclamation points.
Yeah, something I'll say about this matchup is Ezekiel Elliott in general has been underperforming
He has. Well,
every
I guess
week.
that's yeah. I mean, he kind of sucks, right? He's old and washed up,
Hmm.
He got 10
but he
points this
has
week.
been.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is his best week he's played
Mm-hmm.
Right.
with his 34 yards and one touchdown.
Yeah.
Now that's a Frank Gore stat if I've ever seen one.
Dude, Frank Gore is a Hall of Famer.
Yep.
So
What
Yeah, yeah.
happened to his tight end there?
I think
So he didn't play a tight end.
Yeah, so Jacob, like he said, he says like I don't have a full team. I'm about to beat Trevor. It's like, well, that didn't happen. I don't know. We had a
Well, and
big week from tight ends this week too, so Jacob probably should have scooped one up.
if it's any consolation, it what does seem a bit unlikely for him to be getting 14 points out of a tight end, especially if it's somebody who's just scooping up off waivers. So he
Yeah.
was probably always doomed to take an L this week, if I had to guess. Put my professional opinion in there.
To his credit, he did try because he did message the group and was like, "How do I why is my guy like green or something?
Yeah,
I can't change him." So he at least tried, but you never know.
yeah.
So
I
I
mean,
think
and his kicker only got him 1 point. So I mean, there was
That
a
is
world
true.
in which he could have.
the kicker he
Yeah,
traded for, by the way.
yeah, yeah. It was funny. I was watching that Chicago game, and when I saw them score late, I was like, "Ah, shoot, they're gonna, he's gonna get another point." And then I was like, "Wait, they need to go for a 2 point conversion." So just game script was really weird for Jacob
Oh,
because they scored a touchdown, they scored two touchdowns, and he only attempted one PAT, and he didn't kick any field goals. It was just a weird
yeah,
scenario there.
yeah. He did. He had some good. He had a good week from Joe Mixon. Joe Mixon's having a
He
great year.
did, yeah. What?
Marvin Harrison
And
Jr. had a good week.
I was gonna say this is the best week Marvin. I guess not the best, but I mean,
Yeah.
definitely this and this are the outliers, right? He's had a lot of stinker weeks, a couple
Maz
meaty,
Marv.
yeah. He's more like Mazda Marv, if you know what I mean. Uh, um, yeah, and then my team, Travis Kelsey went off. CeeDee Lamb obviously really put the team on his
Mhm.
back there with I think he had like 130 yards and two tutties. Uh, Beyond that, I mean, everybody just kind of did stuff. I think I
Yeah,
left a lot of points on my bench, if I'm correct. Yeah, I had
Oh,
yeah, I had another tight end go for 15.
yeah,
Jacob probably could have tried to trade for him. I probably would have given him to him too. Uh,
yeah, yeah. Calvin really had a good week too, with Mason
mhm.
Rudolph taking over quarterback for
Yeah,
Tennessee.
yeah. And I think maybe I don't remember what I was. Maybe I talked with you last week because I'd said I had Rashad White and Bucky Irving, who I had kind of got as handcuffs for that Buccaneer offense, but they're both are kind of just rosterable at this point if
Yeah.
they're both going to be putting up 10+ points every week.
Mhm. What about Lad
Uh,
McConkey over there on Jacob's bench?
Lad McConkey, man, the man, the myth, the legend, the Georgia Bulldogs product himself, going crazy. He had two tuds with what, like 100 and something yards, 111
111
yards.
yards.
Yeah, I I mean, it's his best game so far. He's a rookie.
Yeah.
And to be honest, if I'm Jacob, I think Lad McConkey is kind of a plug and play moving forward. I don't know who his, maybe not. I don't know. That's tough. I
I mean,
probably am
even
not
well,
starting Zeke.
yeah,
it's hard to say too because you might want to also consider Tank Dell because of Stefan Diggs' injury.
It's true. It's true.
yeah,
Tank Dell is
yeah,
a legit option, especially with Stephon going down.
yeah. And
Um,
Nico Collins is still out. He'll probably be back soon,
right.
but
Yeah, I
Tank
think
Dell
he's got
is
another
the number
week
one
out,
option.
but yeah.
I feel like
So I mean,
Jacobs
I think
has hope, honestly.
he does. His team is better than they look. I think he can pretty much drop Ezekiel Elliott. It's not worth anything. He starts Joe Mixon, Aaron Jones. He's got Maserati Marv, Gabe Wilson, and then he can start kind of Lad McConkey or Tank Dell, depending on how he's feeling about matchups there. You feel pretty good about that, I think.
Yeah. So
Um,
so I think all three of us here have some experience of being on the receiving end of some Jacob McGlone trash talk. Both
mhm.
Trevor and I from the fantasy football world, and then Aaron, you got some trash talk from Jacob. You had a little bit of a rivalry there.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah,
and Jacob's lost every time he's trash talked us. So like, does Jacob just need to stop with the trash talk, or just commit to the bit?
I think he's committed to being the WWE heel of fantasy football and Party Room Film Festival.
What's his record in this fantasy
He's
football?
2-6.
He's two
Oh,
and six. Yeah, yeah. It's a nice little inverse here. I'm 6-2. He's 2-6. It's
probably
fun. It's
Jacob
fun for
probably
him.
puts in the most effort for like the least payoff.
That's probably true. That's
And I mean
probably
that in the
not
nicest
incorrect.
way.
Yeah.
But man, if he had offered me a trade before this week for Tyler Kraft, I 100% would have
Yeah.
traded Tyler Kraft to him. and he would have beaten me with it, which would have been very ironic.
Yeah.
So Jacob, you want a tight end? I got a guy.
There you go. Aaron, what are your thoughts on the team logo for Philly Phobia there?
I don't even. What is that?
Have you
What
not
do
been?
you think it is?
Okay.
It's a jock strap, obviously.
We don't have enough. We only have 34 minutes, but I do have a funny story about a jock
Oh,
strap.
We're here for it.
let's hear it.
We can make time for jock strap stories.
Yeah.
When I was in Rio, in water polo, I was in the water polo arena, and a guy was walking by me that was like a water polo player, and he dropped his, and I picked it up and I was gonna return it to him.
Oh,
And one of the one of the stadium officials like saw me and like thought I was like interfering with like, and I was just trying to return it to the guy because I literally saw him drop it. And he's like, I was walking and he put his hand on me. He's like, "What are you doing with that?" And I was like, "Well, it's his like
Dang.
strap." And he like, "Well, I don't know what that is." And he didn't speak English. And I was trying to explain it to him on how, and I just remember it was like I don't know. Anyways,
So did you get him his jock strap back?
I did, yeah.
Yeah,
nice.
good. Was he really happy that you gave it back
I
to him?
remember saying, I distinctly remember being like, it's like a cup, like a cup. And he's like, cup? And I'm like, no.
You don't want to drink out of this cup.
It's like that kid from I don't remember what the movie is where he's like holding it over his face and he's like, "I am Darth Vader." You're like, Luke, I am your father. You remember that? I think it's Little Giants.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's right.
Yeah, yeah.
Funny.
Well, anyways, we don't have to
The
talk more
moral
about
of
this
the,
matchup.
yeah, moral of the story: always return jock straps.
That's
Yes.
right. If you're not jocking, you're not strapping. Anyways, what's the next matchup we got? You just want to go down the list here?
Yeah, sure. Let's do that.
Steagles.
Cool. So we got Sam and Matt with the Steagles and the Dub Squad.
Yeah. So this
Yeah,
is
what do you want to say here?
yeah. So it was a good matchup this week. Two of the top teams in the league. I think Matt was in second and I was in fourth going into this week. Maybe Matt was in third. I can't remember. But yeah, I think the story this week with this matchup is Matt's team. His quarterback gets hurt. Second week in a row for Matt that his the quarterback that he decided to play gets hurt. And then of course he has Jaden Daniels over there on his bench. So
I was gonna say if he started Jaden Daniels, it would have a different conversation this week.
Yeah, it would have been a little closer for him. I think he would have won, wouldn't he? If he had started
He
Jaden
would have
Daniels.
won. That's correct. Yeah.
So tough break there for Matt. But hey, I'll take it. Let's see what else we got in there. Once again, my running backs had great weeks. Jameer Gibbs, Kareem Hunt, and J.K. Dobbins. Really good.
Jameer Gibbs went crazy against Tennessee.
Yeah. The Lions, that Lions offense, man, is just insane. What did they have, like 85 passing yards the whole game? And they
I think it was 3 touchdowns, 85 passing yards, and put up 52 touchdowns. They had 5 different Lions all score.
Yeah.
It was the most Lions that have ever scored in the same game.
That's crazy. Let's see what else. Trey McBride for Matt had a good week. If you guys don't know, this past Sunday was National Tight Ends Day.
That's right. The tight ends came out to play.
They did. They came out to play. It was awesome. But yeah, I think, I'm happy to come away with the win, but you got to look at that Jane Daniels, Jordan Love decision on Matt. He would have come out with a victory, but it was a good matchup going up against Matt. So my team just happened to not get hurt.
Do you know what time Jordan Love played? Do you have any idea?
They played at 1, and Jaden Daniels didn't play until 4, and he was questionable. So
I was gonna say I probably would have done the same
thing.
Yeah, you kind of just have to commit to starting Jordan Love because I in another league I have Jaden Daniels, and I was between Baker at 1 and Jaden Daniels at 4:30. I started Baker because you just want to start the guy that you know is going to play. So that's a tough one, but I think that's the correct decision, even though it didn't pan out for him.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. It's kind of a tough spot for Matt to be in. But
he also, he's probably not happy seeing Jordan Mason here with 18 yards.
No.
He's kind
And
of
then
fallen off a little bit lately, right? He went crazy the first 4 weeks, and then he's kind of looked human the last 4 weeks.
Yeah, McCaffrey should be on his way back soon. So
Yeah,
they're thinking week 10, but do you hold on to Jordan Mason even when McCaffrey comes back, just assuming that McCaffrey may go down?
I think that's certainly correct.
Yeah. What about the
but yeah,
well, yeah, Amari Cooper. You want to talk about him?
yeah. I mean,
Awful.
what a stinker, right? I mean,
Wow.
1 catch for 3 yards. Not the impact people were expecting him to have there in Buffalo, but I guess when you're winning 31-10, probably game script wise, he kind of got great game scripted out of his touches. But that's okay. It happens.
Yeah. What did our benches do this week?
I think it was nothing notable other than Jaden Daniels, right? Yeah, I mean, pretty similar. You know, you got Worthy did a little bit of something. Chris Brown did a little bit of something. I don't actually know what his name is.
Chase Brown.
Is it Chase Brown? Chase Brown,
Yeah.
Chris Brown. Same thing.
He's got touchdowns in like 4 of the last 5 weeks. So
that's funny. My guess is he's not particularly startable with a stat line like that, though, right? That's an Ezekiel Elliott stat line right there.
Well, you know, the Bengals offense is starting to become not super reliable.
Bad, maybe.
Yeah.
I'd like to point out that with the Anthony Richardson news being benched, I don't know how much Alec Pierce is going to produce because Flacco doesn't really throw to him. Much. He's more of a downfield guy.
Oh, don't worry.
I was gonna say he was kind of a hope and a prayer just when Anthony Richardson just tosses it up, right?
It's possible, yeah, but he runs a lot of long routes.
Don't worry. I dropped Alec Pierce today to pick up a defense.
Okay.
Yeah.
Smart.
What has he done since his? Yeah, I mean, this guy is the definition of boomer bust, right? I mean, I maybe have never seen more boomer bust than this, right? He's got 21 points this week, 0 points, 2 points, 1 point, 1, 5, 14, 20, you know.
I think I picked him up. I've never started him.
Yeah, he's definitely not startable. That's for sure. He's someone that will sit on your bench and you'll be sad every time you see him go off. That's kind of his role, I think. Yeah. All right. Well, look at TJ Hawkinson having a great tight end day. 0 points. I think he's still injured, but I just wanted to point out. Yeah. I wanted to point out and make fun of TJ Hawkinson because he was talking smack when the Lions traded him because he said, "Oh, the Lions suck. I'm glad to finally go to a team that wins." And look at him now.
Famous
TJ Hawkinson.
Exactly. All right, next up, another interesting matchup. 2, 3, and 5 guys here. And 2 good weeks, right? Realistically, you look at it. You know, Tanner had a pretty good week there. But I think that we had said in the past, Zach has one of the scarier teams if he can just roster a full team. And he again chose to not roster a full team, but it didn't matter. He still hung 120 on the Wizards. So
Lamar Jackson's been carrying them. McLaurin's been having a great year. Bijan Robinson having a great year. Ramondre Stevenson came out to play this week.
Yeah, the Pittsburgh defense.
It's a good team.
It really is. And then I think his bench was even like reasonable. Yeah, he had Baker, kind of go off there. He had this guy. I don't know who that is, but
Khalil Shakir from Buffalo.
Khalil Shakir, yeah, and even like Cortland Sutton had a good week. His team just looks spooky, right? I don't want to play against his team.
Yeah,
if he starts,
go ahead.
If he starts Ramondre here, and then he slots Cortland Sutton or Shakir or even Eckler, to be honest, right? Like he's got minimum of 7 more points, maximum of 15 more points. I mean, that's tough to beat, right? So if somebody's hanging 135 on you, that's not going to go well.
See, the tough thing is, Zach he's probably not going to look at his team. So
yeah, he probably hasn't listened to a word we've said about his team.
Probably not. But yeah, still, Zach, if you listen, like you need to try and trade Baker, try to get something out of him, boost your team a little bit because your team's in a good spot.
And I will say,
what you got for us?
this probably wouldn't have even been close if it wasn't for Pitts over here. Like a
Yeah,
tight
that's
end
true.
putting up 23
Mhm.
points. I mean, this probably
Yes.
should have been a complete blowout, but he prevented that.
I think this is his best career game ever. Yeah, 2 tuds
Yeah.
here, which is kind of crazy. Normally
Mhm.
he's known for not ever catching touchdowns, and
I
two of
think
them in one game.
I think he scored as many touchdowns this past Saturday than he has his entire career.
Wow.
That very well may be true. Yeah, certainly that. And then Kirk Cousins had a great game too. Kirk Cousins has been playing actually pretty good. He's not always playing fantasy wise well, but he's
Mhm.
been playing relatively good football.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
he's
mean,
a
I'd
good
start
quarterback.
him. That looks
Quarterback.
good enough to start.
Certainly, especially when he's capable of these 35-point monsters,
Oh,
and you're
there are maybe
probably
there's options.
yeah.
Mhm.
But
Um, I mentioned it in the chat this week. So fortunately, for Tanner, it didn't really come into play. But we could have had a crazy situation had the
mhm,
Pittsburgh defense not totally just destroyed. Um, who are they
the
playing?
Giants,
Yeah, the
the
Giants.
Giants,
So
yeah,
Pittsburgh defense didn't come out to play. So like that, we had a stat correction this week where Bijan Robinson was gifted an
Right.
yeah,
extra what 1.1 points, I
point
think.
one point something like that, yeah.
Something like that. Yeah. So like that would have been crazy had that been what put Zach over the top of Tanner. But fortunately, that didn't happen because Pittsburgh just got a whole bunch of points. Um,
Yeah.
but
Yeah, they had that punt return
I have
touchdown.
seen
It's pretty
before.
nice.
There was one year where a league I was in the championship game, the on Sunday the guy won by or Monday, I guess it was Sunday night because they didn't do a Monday night game, but the guy won by 1 point, and then later that week on the Thursday, one of the players on his team was given a fumble and he lost 2 points, which means that the other guy ended up winning by 1 point. So the championship was decided by a stat correction, which is crazy.
That is wild. Well, I remember last year I played Tanner, and there was a stat correction that boosted me by 2 points, and then I won, and then they took away the stat correction, and then I lost.
Oh,
So
that's
I
rough.
initially thought I lost, and then I thought I won, and then I did lose, which is really kind of
Man,
wild, especially when all the players are played. Um, any other insights here on this matchup? Let me take a look at the bench here.
Dak Prescott, I don't know about him.
I know about
I
Dak.
watched that
It's
game.
not good.
Yeah.
It was not pretty.
I mean, what does his past stats look like? I don't even know if I'd want him on my team.
I
Wrong button. I mean, he's not good. I'll tell you that much. He's
he's
been.
he's garbage.
Yeah. You might be able to
He
get
has
him.
reasonable. Yeah, he has reasonable fantasy stats, but not very good real world stats.
Right. Jerry
I
Jones
mean,
doesn't want Dak Prescott to run, apparently.
yeah. Well, in his last 3 games, he's thrown 2 picks each.
Yeah.
I mean, he's at 8 picks on the season, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Not good.
Yeah, that's not great.
No, but yeah, good old Jerry Jones.
Poor Dallas, right?
Yeah, no, not poor Dallas. We love seeing Dallas lose.
All
Yeah, I
right,
mean, not a whole lot more to say here.
who we got next? Oh, Aaron, we got
Here we go. The matchup that
Yes.
people want to hear about.
Aaron. What do you got to
So,
say about this week?
so here's the thing with this. If you
Mhm,
look at Minnesota's defense, sorry,
mhm.
they have
Yeah,
been
yeah, they've had a very
fantastic.
good defense.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Fantastic. That's why I started them. And if they would have put
mhm,
up even their lowest 8,
right.
I would have won this matchup.
Yeah,
But they put up one
yeah.
one
That's
point.
one measly point.
I
And you really
started
wouldn't expect that from a Rams offense that hasn't done a whole lot.
I know exactly.
You know.
Yeah,
Um,
you
I
kind of got a
thought,
bad rap. Them getting Cooper Cup and
Mhm.
Puka back
Yeah, we
for
didn't know they were playing.
Rams. Yeah,
yeah, and then the other thing was, I started Goff because at this point, as a Colts fan,
No, nobody beats golf.
I did not trust Anthony Richardson, so I was not about to start him.
I
Um,
certainly don't beat golf.
and that was the right move. Obviously, I should have started Josh Downs. Uh, Traditionally in the past, Anthony Richardson doesn't really connect with Josh Downs that much. It's more
Yeah.
Flacco that connects with Downs, so I might consider starting him this week.
Hmm.
These are all Flacco games.
Josh Downs has
Yeah,
been
yeah.
So yeah, as you can see, it's like Flacco. So this is the first time Josh
Yeah.
Downs scored really well. But then the other thing about this matchup that I think was the difference maker is I had Debo playing at the same time as George Kittle, and Kittle just
Mm,
Kittle just got more
yeah.
National Tight
Yeah.
Ends
Yeah.
Day,
I mean,
baby.
yeah,
he had a lot more production than Debo did.
he just had a lot more production. So
Yeah.
I felt like if things were a little different, it could have leaned my way,
Mhm.
but it is what it is.
Yeah.
Uh,
That's
George
fair.
Kittle was the founder of National Tight Ends Day, so it's only fitting that
Yeah.
he put up that big of a
Yeah.
performance.
You know, they do say he has the tightest end of them all.
I
Mm.
have heard that. Yeah.
And I didn't even think
Um,
Patrick Mahomes did that well for Patrick Mahomes. I mean, 19,
Um,
respectable,
I
but
think I
this
think
is
this
maybe his best game.
I was gonna say I think this is might
yeah,
be like his best
yeah.
game all
This is
season.
yeah.
There you go.
He's been very consistently a 14 to 15 point guy, throwing 1 to 2 touchdowns with 1 to 2 interceptions,
Look at that
and that
touchdown
has
to
held
interception
true.
ratio.
Oh,
It's not good. He's
No,
leading the league in interceptions. Did you know that? I'm sure
I
you
did.
did, but it's
8
just funny to hear
touchdown
that from
passes
him.
to 9 interceptions. That's really
Mhm.
not good.
Yeah, we only have 10 minutes left, but
Yeah.
that's okay. Yeah, and the thing is, they're still undefeated somehow.
Mhm.
But it's definitely not because of his play. That's the thing.
It, their defense is solid. You got a good
Yeah,
defense,
yeah,
but who cares?
they do.
Um,
That's right. We don't care about them.
Andrew's team, big loss with Diggs being out for the season. But he does
Yeah,
have
yeah,
Cooper
that'll
Kupp
hurt.
on his bench that'll help him out a little bit. So
Hmm.
kind of it kind of cancels each
And he's
other out.
got Keenan Allen too, but Keenan Allen really hasn't produced a whole lot. He had, a good week last or 2 weeks
Yeah,
ago, but beyond that,
he's
not really.
droppable, I think.
Yeah, that's kind of tough.
I
And then
still
yeah, who's in
challenge
fifth?
I still challenge Andrew to drop Mahomes. We challenged him last week. He hasn't done it yet.
Yeah, yeah. I think Jameis Winston. I'm saying it right now. Jameis Winston is a better fantasy quarterback than Patrick Mahomes. So you can clip that, chat. Moving forward from this week, we will compare every week Jameis Winston and Patrick Mahomes and see who had a better week.
Dare I say, if Andrew drops Patrick Mahomes for Jameis Winston, that I will bench all my players this week in my matchup with Andrew. Dare I say it? I'm not saying I will do it, but maybe,
Hmm.
just maybe, I will if
Well,
Andrew
well,
drops Mahomes.
we'll see if Andrew's really listening. If he wants the shot at you benching all your players.
Who did Andrew
Um,
have to replace Diggs? Does he have someone
Cooper
Yeah,
Cup.
up? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, little Cooper Cup. But yeah, I mean, he also had the Detroit defense, which went AWOL. They had what?
Right.
Yeah, one return touchdown, 2 fumbles, 2 interceptions. They've kind
Mhm.
of just been feasting over there on the Detroit defense.
Yeah.
Yeah,
line
so
three,
Yeah.
they
I would say
that's what they
I
do.
was actually pretty happy with how my team played, other than my defense.
Yeah, they did. I mean, the 107 is a solid week. It's tough. It
he
hurts
went toe to
losing a
toe with
week
them.
like that. Yeah, certainly. Well, let's move on to the next one here. We got the prostate podcasters and the plute ballers.
What a matchup! What a
Two and
matchup!
6 teams. Wow.
Love it.
Yeah,
Um,
and
he gets
yeah,
another win.
where do we begin? I'm gonna let Aaron start. Get us going here. I don't even know where to start with this one.
Where do we start? Let's see. Um,
That's what I'm thinking too.
I mean, for me, the craziest thing here is probably Cody's running backs just going off. I mean, that's the
Yes.
biggest thing I see here.
Yeah. I didn't realize. Maybe I didn't realize how good his running backs are, but I guess he did
That's
get that.
crazy.
That
Two for
that
over
one.
50 points or just 2 running backs.
Yep, that's crazy.
Actually, let's point this out. Right, if Jacob had not traded Josh Jacobs, he wouldn't have had to start Ezekiel Elliott, and he certainly would have beaten me this week.
That's a good point.
What a
That's
horrible
a great
trade,
point.
Jacob.
What a terrible trade. But
Why
I'll
would
take it
Jacob
because I
even
won.
trade? Why would he even trade someone that he shares a name with?
It's a
I
good
don't get it.
question. Maybe when we have Jacob on, he can answer some of these questions for us.
I'm trying, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, yeah, no,
Um,
that's a good week for his running backs.
Mhm.
Cook. I mean, James Cook is a great running back. He's always going to produce.
someone might say someone cooked here.
Mm.
Someone might say that. Yeah,
What happened to who was that? I don't even know that running back. Dowdle? Is that the
Dwaddle.
Rico
I
Dowdle.
don't. I
second?
honestly don't actually know what the deal was with Dwaddle. He was supposed to play, but then I think he was maybe hurt and he didn't at the last second. Yeah, that's right. Because they bumped up. Who was the Who was the running back from the Vikings forever?
Uh,
Um,
I have no idea. Adrian Peterson.
no, no. Within the last like 5 or 6 years, the good one they had
Oh, Dalvin Cook.
Dalvin Cook. Yeah, yeah. Because they updated that, or they pulled him up from the practice squad, kind of last second to play for Dwaddle. So I
Right.
think that was a last second injury, which is a little unfortunate.
So I guess you could say that he got cooked.
You could say that. Yeah, man. It could have had the Dalvin Cook versus
James
Jeff
Cook.
Cook.
Jeff Cook. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep. Have a cook-off.
that's right. They could both get invited to the cookout. Uh,
Yeah,
uh,
just
yeah,
rough week for Josiah
I,
again.
tough.
So
It's a
yeah,
tough
I
one.
would.
Yeah,
I don't know if I would keep the Bengals. I'm not speak on it more than me, but the Bengals defense, I'm not sure about that.
now you can be totally sure about not wanting to start the Bengals defense.
There's gotta
I've
be a
seen.
better defense out there.
I don't think the Bengals front office wants to start the Bengals defense. I don't think Joe Burrow wants to start the Bengals defense.
I don't think the Bengals want to start the Bengals
No,
defense.
no.
Um,
Look at that on Josiah's team. Kate Otten, another tight end, putting up a huge.
Wow.
Massive performance from Kate on. Yeah, 2 tuds.
Another good week for Mark Andrews from Cody's team. So Cody, get him in.
Still on
Get
the
him in.
bench.
Yeah,
One day he'll get him on the bench or get him in back in there. He's
yeah,
pretty much played well the last like 3 weeks straight, isn't it?
yeah.
Yeah,
He has.
he had
He's
three
been on a
solid
roll.
performances. Yeah,
I thought honestly, I thought it was just kind of like a fluke the first game, but
yeah,
uh,
it's kind of weird.
Did
And we do like yes, he did it again. He has
did he?
started he has three quarterbacks on his team, and every single week he manages to pick
Just
the
barely.
one that scores the most fantasy points. I don't know
I
how.
I
It
think
seems improbable, but he does it.
I think when you say he picks the one, I think you more mean he leaves the one in his lineup and he doesn't look at his team. Actually, I think Cody does check, but when your other two quarterbacks are Justin Herbert and Trevor Lawrence, I mean,
I feel like there have been weeks he started Justin Herbert though, but maybe I'm wrong.
I don't know. I feel like he started Purdy a lot,
That's
but I
fair.
think
Maybe so.
probably the right move going forward.
Yeah, it's just
as
funny to
bad
see.
as Lawrence has been playing, I don't think his fantasy numbers are actually horrible. I think they're
No, they're reasonable. Yeah, because he
They're
generally is
decent.
throwing like 2 touchdowns and then like one pick, but he's thrown for 200 to 300 yards, so it kind of makes up for it a little bit.
Yeah.
He's kind of in the Jameis Winston category where he just throws enough touchdowns and he throws a high enough volume that it makes up for his interceptions.
Yeah. I will
Um,
say, yeah, on a serious note, Josiah, we're all thinking of you and Melissa.
mhm.
I know you're not listening, and I know fantasy football is the last thing on your mind. But if it ever is on your mind, might want to make some moves there. But we're all thinking of you, and we will be happy to just beat your team down for you, so you can have one
In the
less thing to.
meantime,
Yeah.
that's right. Yeah, certainly. All right. Well, let's come on down to the last matchup of the night. We have 2.5 minutes, so we better go quick.
So our
And
first
I'd
place
said it in the
squad.
chat. I'd said it in the chat. I have loved the lore of De Armas team over here.
best team.
Levi's
My
team
opinion,
has
best team.
absolutely just been going bonkers. 140 points.
He is
Derrick
doing
Henry
it for
and
Nate Herman.
Jonathan Taylor. I mean, this is just nuts.
Yes, and Alvin Kamara
Skins.
and Jalen Hurts, who just runs for 4 touchdowns a game. 3, sorry, my bad. 4 all-purpose touchdowns.
Yeah, 4
right? But
all together. Yeah.
yeah, I
Who's,
mean,
the only weak spot's the defense. Who's his other defense?
I
Great
don't think he has another one. The Colts,
Indianapolis.
so probably don't want to start the Colts.
Yeah.
I think his tight end is actually not very good. Yeah, David Njoku's not particularly good. He might be better moving forward with Jameis Winston, to be honest. This was his first Jameis Winston game.
Yeah.
And I mean, he looked pretty good there, but maybe he's turning a corner. Who's to say?
And Jonathan Taylor
I
has been playing, and now he's back. So his team's
yeah
at full strength right now.
yeah. And you could probably also argue that he might be a little more productive with Joe Flacco.
Yeah.
Just because I think Joe Flacco does a little bit more for the offense
Yeah.
currently than Anthony Richardson can. But yeah, I mean it's just a tough team to beat. There's too many dudes that can hit, right? I mean, like Taylor can hit, Kamara can hit, Henry can hit, Smith can hit,
He's always
Pickens can
hitting.
hit,
Yeah.
Hurts. Yeah,
Right.
like they're all good. I mean, his bench is pretty much a dumpster fire. It's interesting seeing that he kept Deshaun Watson. That was a bold
Right.
move. I would probably drop him at this point since
Drop
he
him.
can't play football physically or
Yeah.
probably for legal reasons moving forward.
Yeah. Let's
Maybe
look at
look at the defenses that are out there.
Yeah,
look at Paul's
certainly.
team too. So yet again, Paul decides to stick with his boy T. Higgins, even though he didn't
T.
play.
Higgins, even though he didn't play.
I don't think it really would have mattered what he did because he lost by
No.
50.
I mean, Kyron Williams, starting Kyron Williams would have been a good decision, I think.
For everything, all things considered, Paul had a pretty good week. We talk
Yeah.
about Paul every week. He's got a good squad.